got to take a time out. Lots more when we come back. The Hurricane Tigers are up next here on the Region 9 Media. Here representing the Tigers, we've got a few players. We've got Kaden, Langston, James Bennion, and Austen, Beatty, and then, of course, Coach Todd, Langston. And, Coach, if you can just take a couple minutes and talk about the season so far and what you guys did in the off-season and your preview and outlook for the upcoming year.
Well, to start off with, this summer we played 35 games. We went up to UVU and played at Dixie State. We went and played at the up at the summer games, and then we went down to Vegas and played a few weeks. So we had a lot of experience this summer. Had a good experience. Played a lot of 4A, 5A schools. Felt like we really competed well there. We were able to win the summer games, and been very happy with our progress there. As far as some of our players, we have a lot of seniors this year. We have 8 seniors that are with us. We have a guard that moved in from Arkansas, Bobby, and then we have 7 returning players from last year. And so even though a lot of them haven't had a lot of varsity experience, we feel like through the summer and stuff we've gained a lot of experience and looking for good things.
If you could take just a couple minutes and talk about maybe your starting 5 and who's going to be that spark off the bench, and talk about your production, what you've seen in practice, and who's really leading this team so far.
So far, it's kind of interesting because we played for the state championship in football, and so we had our first game at Ridgefield after only 2 days of practice, and one of those practices we had on the uniforms. And so we went up there and we played well and lost the game on a last-second shot. We were up 2 and they hit a 3 with 0 time left on the clock and won that game. But overall, I was happy with our progress and the way we played up there. I thought that the kids competed hard, played good defense. Of course, our leaders, I think this year, the leaders that I have here with us today, Austen, Beatty, we look for a lot of inside presence. He's 6'4", plays well with his back to the basket, also facing the basket, has a good 15-foot jump shot, and he's fast enough that he can beat most people to the basket. So we expect a lot from Austen. And then for any of those that had a chance to watch James play, James is a great outside shooter, and we look for him for kind of being the catalyst of our team. When James plays well, we play well. He can shoot lights out, and he's also improved his game a lot this summer, working to get the ball inside and go into the basket. He jumps very well. And then a place we're struggling a little bit at this point in the season is our point guard play. We lost Kaden, but he'll be back, we hope, in the next month or so. And so we're working with a couple of people at that position, hopefully get things worked out there.
One of the things you talked about up in Ridgefield, we were up there at the 3A preview with you, was turnovers. And you were very prophetic. You said if we turn the ball over a lot against Morgan, we're not going to win that game. And you turned the ball over a lot against Morgan and didn't win that game. But the next day you turned it around. You only had 9 turnovers as opposed to 25 that first day. I know you're struggling without your son, the point guard out there, but if you could maybe address the turnover situation with Hurricane, how big that is.
You know, every turnover is a missed opportunity to score, and so of course that's a large, a big thing. And we started with Tyson playing point guard for us, and Tyson's naturally a 2 for us and has been a 2 for us throughout his career here at Hurricane. And so I had to put him in a bad position, and he did fine. It wasn't just him that turned the ball over. We had other guys that turned the ball over also, and they played a lot of man-to-man pressure. And of course, when we played the second day against Emory, they're in zone offense, which makes it so we have less turnovers. But we also brought in a junior guard, Kurt McDaniel, and he's a true point guard and did a very good job of handling the ball. He had 8 assists in that game, got the ball to shooters, and it made a difference. So we're looking at that situation for right now, and we've got to take care of the basketball if we're going to win, especially in Region 9.
Coach, second year, obviously, with the Hurricane Tigers, talked about maybe what you've seen over those couple of years and what you would like to see continuing on with the Tigers.
You know what? I feel like the Tiger program is in a good situation. I feel like we're strong freshmen through varsity. We have some big young kids coming up, 6'4", 6'5" kids, freshmen. We have a couple big sophomores that are pretty good ball players. We got some great shooters. I think we're in good shape. We do a lot in the summer, getting out with our freshmen through varsity and playing a lot of team camps and a lot of individual camps. And seems like we have a good level of commitment. We had 40 or 50 kids playing basketball this summer with us, and it's very competitive, and I like the direction that we're headed. Last year was a down year for us. I believe that we're going to be very competitive this year.
Coach, I got to have you kind of relay the story. What went through your mind when you were at that football game and Kaden didn't get up, and then you take it from there?
Well, him being my son and him being the quarterback of our football team, I had to kind of talk Kaden into playing this year, and of course I told him that he wouldn't be injured, and didn't quite turn out the way he wanted. But Kaden is a pretty tough kid. When he went down, I'm just thinking, well, you know what? He sprained his ankle or hurt his ankle, and he'll be fine. And then, as I was standing there on the sidelines and he didn't get up for a few minutes, I decided I better wander out on the field and see what was going on. And when I got out there, I could tell that it was pretty serious. And he broke his fibula. And anyway, they got him off the field, and we got him up to IHC, and they looked at it, and Dr. Andrus, who was his doctor, basically just told him there was nothing they could do for him there, that they would see him Monday in surgery. So we got in real quickly. He worked us in, and we got it operated on, and so far so good. So, of course, kind of heartsick because we lost a 2-year starter at our point guard position, and probably more so maybe it's because he's my son.
Can you tell us about how the timetable is from your perspective? Because I know he'll tell us he's going to be back sooner than you will.
He gets to see the specialist again on Thursday, and we're hoping that at that point that he'll be able to be put into just an ankle brace and start to walk and jog a little on it, and in the next few weeks be able to run on it and jump. So our goal is if we can get him back at Game 3 in region, we'd be really happy with that.
It's got to be frustrating to have injuries to your team. You mentioned Jaden Law also broke his wrist or his hand, and before the season even starts, you have injuries to deal with, and every team deals with the injury here and there during the season. But for you, it must have been really frustrating knowing you didn't have all your warriors going out into there for the first game.
And that's what happens when you play in a smaller 3A region school and you have a lot of kids that play football on key positions in football. They're also our basketball players. Very interesting just bringing that up. Our first 2 games, I have 3 kids that are starters, have been starters on our varsity basketball team that are football players. In those first 2 games, they scored 0 points and probably had 15 turnovers. So that being said, we're definitely going to get better with practice and game experience. Those kids will get in basketball shape quickly. Also, Tyson has a fractured left wrist. So he's dealing with pain there. And so we're working through these injuries, and hopefully, we got games early, unfortunately, region-wise, but we get a break during Christmas, and hopefully when we come back, we'll be ready to play basketball.
So, Coach, you find yourself when watching that football end of the season going, yes, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, the only one that didn't get hurt was Jeremiah Aramia, and you guys know why he didn't get hurt.
He's just too bad.
Probably got to watch your basketball, make sure one of your players just keep calling that pick out.
We have to hold him back a little.
We're talking with the Hurricane Tigers here in our 2014 Media Day. This time, if we want to open up questions for Coach Langston.
Hi, Coach. This is Stephen with the Spectrum and Daily News. If there's one thing that might carry over from football, it's that it was a big turnaround season for football this year, and maybe can have a similar thing with basketball for Hurricane. What signs do you have that there might be a different season for the Hurricane Tigers?
Well, first of all, I feel like we have a great senior class, and we had a good senior class last year also. But this class we have this year is a special class. They weren't expected to do much in football, and they use that as a crutch throughout the football season to motivate themselves. And I'm not sure, what kind of respect we're getting as far as basketball goes, and that doesn't really matter to us. We just need to take care of what we do, and we have some good seniors. We got some guys that can shoot the ball. We've got a couple of good post players that are very good around the basket. I like our chances. I feel like that we had a very successful summer, and we've been competitive in the games we played this year. We're a little behind defensively, but we'll get that taken care of.
And then from a coaching standpoint, what kind of benefit is it when players are playing more than just basketball, when they're playing football and basketball versus someone who's just playing basketball by itself?
I think the biggest thing is just to learn to compete and to be competitive and be able to be physically and mentally tough. Football's a tough sport. Takes a lot of mental toughness to be a good football player, and I think that carries over to the basketball court. The physicality of the game, being able to get through picks, and just having a good mental attitude and a good physical mental attitude. I think that definitely carries over from football. Definitely they're not in shape when they come into the basketball, and they don't get in the gym at all. Where these other kids that have had a chance to do that are definitely going to be more advanced. But I feel like in 2 or 3 weeks that these kids will all be on the same speed.
How deep do you go, Coach? How comfortable do you feel? 8 guys, 9 guys, 10 guys, maybe?
You know what? I think in certain situations we could go 10 deep. I'm really comfortable at 9. And I've got a couple of juniors that I feel like they could step up and play for us and give us some good time. And we've got a few sophomores that look good in practice.
Let's meet some of the Hurricane Tiger players here with us at the meeting today, representing their school, and Kaden, Langston, James, Bennion, and Mr. Beatty. Let's start with Mr. Beatty and talk about your excitement level for the upcoming year.
Well, I'm really excited, to start the senior year, and of course, it didn't start the way we wanted to with all those injuries, but we played a couple games, we played a lot of games this summer, so I feel like we've got good experience heading into this season. Our region, it can go anywhere with it. Anyone can win on any night, so we just need to play hard with it, and to me, that just makes every game more exciting and makes me want to play a lot harder and win. So.
Austen, let's talk more with you in just a minute. Let's bring in James for a second. James, we kind of saw you get pulled up from JV last year because you were needing a scoring punch at the varsity level, and you were doing that down low. Since then, what have you done to become even a better all-around player? Because we know you can shoot the three.
I think I've done a lot over the summer. I've been playing with Coach Pat with 24/7, so we did a lot of tournaments and a lot of training there. And even just with our team now over the summer with summer games and all those games that we played, and just seeing everybody's improvement and stuff. And especially from my point, just training all the time, just trying to get better.
Kaden, senior season, obviously when that ankle went down, you knew you were going to miss a big portion of it. Where's your mindset at right now? You got to be kind of that leader without being out on the court.
Yeah, it's hard watching from the sideline for sure, but I just got to keep my head high and just hope for the best with recovery time, and hopefully be back playing as soon as possible. So.
I'd like to, if I can, go back to the end of the football season, the semifinals. You had to be incredibly happy for the sophomore Josh Parker and what he was able to do, but I saw you over there on your crutches, in the cold Salt Lake air, and I couldn't help but feel for you a little bit, Kaden, because you weren't able to get out there and play football. Can you talk a little bit about that emotion? Is that okay?
Yeah. Josh Parker, I love the kid to death. We've become really close, being quarterbacks and stuff, but watching us versus Desert Hills game in the semis was really hard. I was really happy that we won, but at the same time, I was missing out on a big opportunity. Not everybody gets to play in a state championship in their high school career, and I missed out on that. But I was happy for my team, and I wish I could play, but.
They wouldn't even let him. He wanted to hold snaps with his cap.
What's the timetable? I mean, we talked to your dad about it, but what are you looking at?
It's been recovering pretty quickly. I go into the doctor this Thursday, and from there, hopefully that I'll just get an ankle brace and get back in normal shoes again, and start physical therapy, and I'm hoping to be back by early January.
You been working on your free throws, or what have you been working on when you can't run around?
I shoot around, free throws, layups, just hobbling around on one foot.
Kaden, I want to ask you about James. He was feeling it Saturday at Richfield. Does he like that in practice? He starts getting that emotion going. And he has to have that heat checker three. Have you seen that? Has that happened on a daily routine?
Oh yeah, James is a great shooter. One of the best in Region 9 for sure. He's just a good shooter.
Well, we got to ask James, what's your range? Is there a certain point on the court you go, I better shoot from out here? Or do you just have no conscience wherever you're just going to throw it?
I don't know, sometimes when I'm in the moment of the game, if I feel like they're giving me that much room, I kind of just zone out where I am and I'll just shoot it. And then if I miss it short or something, I'll hear it from the coaches definitely. So I don't know. If I'm in the moment and I've hit a couple, it just comes. So.
I was almost going to say we ought to ask the coach that question too. Where's his range? Well, wherever he hits from, right?
That's right.
Actually, I wanted to ask Austen a question here because other coaches, I know your coach probably said the same thing. They feel good when guys learn their role and play the role. Austen, what's your role this year for the Tigers?
I think my role this year is to, basically be the inside guy at 6'4", grab a lot of boards, and definitely hit the inside post players a lot and defend the bigger guys. Cody Wilstead's in there. He's a lot taller than me, but I've been playing him since, we were in 6th grade. So just play hard defense, and then, of course, get the ball inside. If they double down, kick it back out to great shooters like James so we can knock down those 3-pointers.
It seems like you and Hinton have a pretty good, psyche. You guys can kind of guess where each other are going to be. You guys can get a lot of interior post-to-post passes or clean up some of the other guys' misses. Talk about that dynamic.
Yeah, Ray and I, we've only been playing together since the start of the summer, but it's definitely like almost playing with myself. He reads the floor very well. I'll backdoor, he knows I'm there. It's just great playing with a guy that knows what you're going to do and knows you'll be there. And likewise, I know where he's going to be at. I know his moves, so I can position myself to get the open position and maybe to get the dish or get the rebound. So
how do you get rebounds in practice? Do you have to go around Jeremiah, over Jeremiah? Because if he tries to block you out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like trying to get through a brick wall, It's hard to push the guy out of the way, and so you definitely have to use your speed on him. Even then, you still get a lot of boards in practice on him, just because he's so big, and he just uses those big hips he has and just pushes you right out of the way.
We're talking with the Hurricane Tigers here, Coach Langston, and then the players, Austen, Beatty, James Bennion, and Kaden Langston. Let's open it up for more questions. Mike, Andy, or Steven?
Yeah, I have a question. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys play Dixie High tomorrow night. Can you just tell me a bit about what you're anticipating with that game?
It's going to be a good game. It's at our house. We played a lot of ball. These kids have played a lot of ball with the kids from Dixie and AAU, and so I think we know each other very well. They know our tendencies. We know their tendencies. It's region game number 1. It's on our home floor. We need to protect our home. So I feel confident we can come out and play very well, and if we do what we need to do and take care of the basketball, I think we'll have good results.
All right. Questions for Coach or any of the players?
Yeah, I was going to ask you what tempo is the most desirable tempo for you guys, Coach?
You know what? We look to push the ball. We have an early offensive. We'd like to get the ball down the floor, and if we can get a good shot out of that, get something underneath the basket or an inside-outside kick out to one of our shooters, we'd like to do that. If not, we're good with setting things up, and we actually feel like one of our advantages this year is, like they said, where people aren't really big in Region 9, with the exception of Pineview and Cody, but I feel like our 2 post players play well together, and I think that we can get the ball inside and they can make things happen in there. Of course, if they double down and cheat off, then I feel like we have the opportunity to kick the ball out to some good guards and wings that can shoot the basketball.
And by the way, your first 2 region games, I'm sure you're aware, but maybe the fans didn't know, are Dixie and Pineview. So get to work right away, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately it's early, but we'll be ready.
Other questions?
I was just wondering what the players thought of having these early region games in December. Do you guys like it or dislike it?
I usually enjoy, I always love playing basketball, but to get to 2 region games before the Christmas break and the start of the new year, I really enjoy that because then through Christmas break we can break down our habits and things like that, things we do bad, things we do well, and then really work on those so that by the time we play them again the next round, we're a lot different team than we were before.
I think it really helps, especially with the other region games, especially because getting those nerves out of being a senior and playing that first region game before Christmas break, it really helps to get more into the fast tempo of Region 9 and being able to stay with the other competitors. So.
Who's your rival? Who's the biggest rival for Hurricane in the region right now in basketball?
I don't know, probably Desert Hills and Dixie for sure. Those 2.
But I thought you guys hated Pineview the most. That's too rude. Somewhat. That's a good answer. Coach, you got him well coached on that.
There you go.
Any other final questions? We have just a minute left here. Steven, anything else? Coach, just curious, looking ahead, where does your style of coaching come? And do you mesh it with this group you've got, or does it change?
You know, I think you have to adapt to whatever you have each year, and I felt like, you know, this summer, as we played a lot of ball, we worked on an inside-outside game, and that's kind of where we're at this year. You know, in the past, with you know, to run a lot of pick and roll with some of our bigger guys, and with Kaden right now, that I'm not comfortable with doing as much of that as we've done in the past. So we look to pass the ball around the perimeter, try to get the ball inside to the post, and then from there, like we said before, you know, we have guys that can shoot the basketball from outside. You know, going back to the comment you guys asked James what a shooting range is, I think what he thinks his shooting range is and what I think our shooting range is are two different things. I'm definitely good with James. He's a great shooter at 19 and a half feet. He's not quite as good at 25, and he will shoot at 25 feet if he feels like he's open. And you know, there's games where he'll make 8 out of 10 of those. And so it's kind of a rhythm thing for him. Sometimes we have to pull the reins back a little bit, but we're glad to have him in our program, and we have other great kids that can shoot the ball well in our program, and we'll do so as we get farther into games.
Coach, thanks for being here. Guys, great job representing the Hurricane Tigers. Good luck this season. We'll see you real soon. The Hurricane Tigers, everybody, here at our 2014 Region 9 Media Day. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, next up, the Desert Hills Thunder. They'll be followed by the Dixie Flyers and then the Snow Canyon Warriors. Again, if you just tuned in or missed any of this, we'll have it all up on demand later on SouthernUtahLive.com. We'll be right back.